3. Game point. And game to Pete Sampras. 4-3 lead. 6-4. He won the first set. Semi-final of the Lipton. And we're live. It is another beautiful day on Key Biscayne. This whole Dade County area has put on its finest weather for the Lipton Championships, and my goodness, they needed it because last year was just the opposite. Jim Courier and Pete Sampras are battling it out in the semi-final of the Lipton. 6-4. Sampras won the first set. He's leading 4-3. They've traded breaks. We're on serve in the second. It's Courier, the number 4 seed and the number 5 player in the world, about to serve.
All match long, he just has seemed so much more relaxed than Courier, hasn't he? I mean, Sampras just, Courier has felt the pressure of trying to hold, of trying to break. And Sampras, again, it's not one of the great days of his playing career. He's struggling a little bit, and yet he knows he's got the big heat. He knows he's got the big serve. He knows he's got a very solid return game.
When you're that confident, though, Mary, you just sort of play, you throw it up. You don't think about playing. You just go out there and you're doing everything well.
Yep.
Everything works.
Dancing around to his forehand side. And the thing is with Pete, he's not playing like, he's just playing well enough to beat everybody else in the world. Steffi Graf does that too.
Either one of these players is going to need this, what amounts to change, because they are multi-millionaires, both of them. The winner of the Lipton will take home $242,000. Nevertheless, they are playing today for at least $128,000, and they've already banked $67,000. Love 15.
Courier or Agassi or Rafter would like that 350 points on their side of the ledger because they need it. Pete Sampras does need it. He's ahead by over 1,000 on the tour.
15 all.
IBM ATP Tour computer points. Sampras is ahead by the biggest margin since they brought in the rankings. There it is. Look at that, just under 5,000. The closest one is 3,094. And Jim Courier, if he can get 300 there, he's going to go up to number 4 in the rankings.
Edberg lost his match to Agassi, so he won't move up to number 2 yet over Michael Steve. He would have if he'd beaten him. 30-15. His 4th double fault. 30 all. Oh, the lazy return. Courier, as you can see, has made a lot more unforced errors today than he did against Ivan Izovich in the last round.
Interesting shot Sampras played there, because he played the slice backhand and he came away underneath the ball, and the ball was curving away from Courier when he made that forehand, and he had to chase after it, and that was the major cause for him missing it down the line. The ball moved away from his body.
Deuce at 3-4, second set.
Boy, two backhand errors in a row. I mean, this is just a forehand. I'm sorry. It's just a crisis of confidence, isn't it?
Yep.
And he has made millions of dollars off of that shot, Fred.
And all Sampras has done was just block it back. He didn't try to do anything on that return off the forehand side. He blocked it back. The point before, he played that little slider backhand. Didn't have any pace on it.
Brad Stein, Gavin Forbes, coach and manager, respectively, of Courier. Miss hit there from Sampras. You know, Mary, you said something earlier about Pete Sampras and talking about the French Championships and one thing. I think he has decided that he can stay back with Courier, and there comes times when he on the court just says, I'm just going to get this back and let's see how Courier can hurt me when I stay back.
Right.
Not going for that much. It's interesting. You don't often do that.
Well, Jim, you know, he's very defensive when you talk to him about his slump. He hates, he hates when you talk about it, and he tries to dismiss it. He talks the talk right when he tells you that, but he's not walking the walk out there. And you know, if he's saying the right words, but it doesn't seem like he believes them right now.
But you get into a slump. That's one thing I can't understand about tennis. You know, he's number 5 in the world, and if he wins here, he gets up into number 4 in the world, and they talk about slumps as though you're totally written off.
No, I'm not talking about that.
They try to do it with Edberg. Edberg's come back. I don't think, Courier's going to be around for a while, but he's not number 1. He slips down a couple of rankings. That happens from year to year. Somebody stays up there for a couple of years, you move down, then you go back up again. You do have bad years.
Not a good game. And for Pete Sampras, that's 4 games all. Did not, since Indianapolis, win a tournament. So he's number 5 now, and he was number 1 going. Last year he had won the Australian Open. So we were talking Grand Slam. Then he gets to the final of the French.
Yep.
Up a break against Bruguière in the 5th set. Lost that one. And a couple of weeks later, finalist at Wimbledon. He had no expectations at Wimbledon. It was all opportunity. And he got his way to the final, lost to the server.
And then, truthfully, at the Canadian Open, he lost that match to Michael Pernfors. He wasn't really sure whether he wanted to be there because he'd had a good season. But things kind of went downhill from there for Courier, and he was never able to collect himself.
Hopefully he will go back to just swinging away, going out on the court saying, how many times can I hurt this guy I'm playing, And if he belts the ball and it's not good enough, well, it wasn't good enough that day. But he's got to get back to that mindset.
Yeah, that's well played, Sampras. He was patient, and that's what we've been talking about, the strategy. It's going into the corners before the backhand of the fourth. So that's before the crash. He was 51-9. And as Cliff mentioned, he had 5 titles that year. He won the Australian Open.
$15 Sampras.
Harry talked about how Sampras mixes his serve up against Courier. That was one of the mixing. That was a good kicker, 84 mile an hour, jumped up. You could see Courier trying to stretch to get that. He had to take one hand off it, off the racket. And he mixed it up again.
That's 7 aces. Yeah, he can spit him, he can slash him, he can do anything. But Pete Sampras himself at number 1 says now, he said, I've talked to McEnroe about this. When McEnroe was number 1 in 1984, he only lost 3 matches. He said, you can't do that anymore. The talent is too deep. Yeah. Rewards high, pressure strong. But boy, he seems to like it there, doesn't he?
He sure is handling it well. Sampras has a lead in the second set on serve. He won the first. Sampras and Courier, as I said, 5-4. Sampras